Welcome back to Web Development. We are on Lesson 2, Intro to HTML. We are working in code.org today. Today we're going to focus on how can we tell the computer both what to put on the web page and how to organize it. Computers only do what we tell them to do. We need to give them a very specific set of instructions. If we don't give them instructions in a way in which they understand them, then they won't do what we want to do. So we're going to go hop right in with number 1. If you are in class, we'll have watched a short video. We will not be working with a driver or a navigator. Okay, so when it says type the name of your navigator, you are just going to type your name. All right, so type your name, type your favorite color, and then it says to type your favorite animal. Let's go with dog today. My favorite animal and favorite color change all the time, but today I feel like a blue dog. All right. Once you type those all in on their own lines, make sure you read all the directions. Once you type them in on your own lines, hit the refresh and save button. Now, this, if you watch the video, and if you didn't watch the video, this is your workspace. This is where you'll be typing everything you want to go in your web page. And in a few minutes, we'll start adding tags to it. Tags are how we give directions to how we want our web page to look. What is the difference between what I typed in my workspace and what would be displayed on the web page? This is how it would display on the web page. Take a look at the difference. If we look at our workspace, we put each of our answers on a different line. If we look at our web page, everything runs together because we did not tell the computer to put each of these on its own line. Now, if you struggle with a question, a lot of times code.org will have a help button called Show Me How. So if you have this button, if you need help, I would try without it first, but if you need help, you can hit Show Me How, and it will show you exactly what to type in your workspace. Now, they used full sentences, even though they forgot their punctuation. They used full sentences. For this one, I'm not worried about full sentences, okay? Name, favorite color, favorite animal on their own lines. That's what I'm worried about. Typically, I will have you use full sentences later on, okay? So don't think everything's going to be abbreviated like this. All right, make sure you hit the finish button. All right, I'm going to be hitting these bubbles up here, but make sure you hit the finish button. If you do not hit the finish button, it will not, it's like you're not submitting your work. You can also hit the finish button, go, oh, no, I made a mistake. And you can go back and change it and hit the finish button again. Whatever the last time you did, that is what I should see. Now, so you guys hit finish and we'll take you to bubble number 2 and I'm going to hit bubble number 2. This one, you don't actually have to do anything. All right. It wants you to explore HTML. This web page was written in HTML, the language of the web. You will learn more about how this works, but first let's explore it with the inspector tool. Do this. You're going to turn the inspector tool on. So here's the inspector tool. Turn it on. And you're going to hover over something in the web page. Let's hover over this first line right here. Notice on your workspace, it highlights that line in blue. So look at the first thing you see on that line. We see a less than, lowercase p, greater than sign. Okay? Notice it doesn't appear on your web page, but it is in your text. That is called a tag. Tags are what we're using to give the computer instructions. So take a look at the different kind of tags that are used. See if you can see the differences. All right, let's talk about this a little bit. So here is one of our headings. This is a web page. Simple enough. Let's take a look at our tags. I am going to refer to the less than, greater than symbols as chompers. Some of you might remember when you did less than, greater than in elementary school, they had the alligators ate the bigger number. One of my students called them chompers, and I will forever remember that, and so I refer to them as chompers. So you're going to put your H2 tag within your chompers. What do you think H stands for? H stands for heading. So right here we have our H2 heading. What's the difference between our H2 heading and our H1 heading? Which one's text is bigger? If you notice here, our H1 text is bigger. And we will look more into this in lesson 3. Let's go to our paragraph. And I kind of gave it away. P stands for paragraph. Okay? So notice we have our chompers with the P. Now, all of these should be lowercase. All the ones that you are currently typing now should be lowercase. DocuType is different, and we'll go over that later. But all of your H's, all of your P's, all of your LI's, your UL's, and we'll go over what those are all are, all lowercase. So let's look at the end. We have a backslash P. That backslash represents end. So we have our opening paragraph tag and our closing paragraph tag, or our end paragraph or close paragraph, however you want to think of it. But that backslash, it either means end or close. It's like we are finishing that direction. And then we go down and we open a new paragraph, and that's like another direction. And that's what creates the spaces here. As I said, we will go much more in detail in all this later on. Just getting the basics. All right, let's take a look at this. Code.org automatically fills out your DocuType, your HTML, hypertext markup language, your head tags, and your body tags for you, including the opening body, closing body, opening HTML, closing HTML, opening head, closing head. All right, so it does all this for you. When we work in Notepad, it will not do this for you. Okay, so in our notes, which you have either already taken or you will be taking, we will still go over all of these tags that we are not currently typing in. Do not type anything in the head right now. All right, we are only working in the body. So do this. Finish adding the paragraph tags to Sophia's code so that each sentence appears on its own line. Notice it has the show me how. I'm not going to click that right now, but it has the show me how if you get lost. You can also always turn on the inspector tool. It also shows you what it should look like over here. So pause the video and see if you can do it on your own. So they have their opening paragraph tag. My name is Sophia. Closing paragraph tag. Now they forgot their punctuation. Let's just add it in. What are we going to put here? Remember, use lowercase. We're going to put our opening paragraph tag and our closing paragraph tag. Now notice over here, it looks right, but we are not done. We do not want any text outside of our tags, all right? Everything needs to be enclosed in tags for our codes to be right. Because if we were to continue on, not having paragraph tags there is going to mess us up. So we're going to add another opening paragraph tag and another closing paragraph tag. Notice how these are up here. So we're done with this now. Notice how these up here are green. The ones you've done are green. When you hit finish, they turn green or purple. That does not mean they are correct. I just want to point that out. I repeat that. Just because these are green or purple does not mean they are correct. It means that you have done something and your teacher needs to check it. So go ahead and hit finish for this one, and we're going to move on to the next one. All right, we need to put in a question and an answer using paragraph tags. What part of the workspace do we type in? Within the body. We are not going to type anything outside the body right now. So create 2 paragraph tags. We're basically creating a question and answer. I would love to hear a joke. Sometimes Some students come up with some pretty creative things. However, I am just going to do something simple. Um, how, oh, now you can type your sentences first and then add your tags, or you can add your tags as you go. You can also go ahead and put in both your closing tag and your opening tag and then type in between them. How was your day? Question. All right. Now, if we keep typing, all right, we open a new paragraph. It was good. Close paragraph tag. It will still format correctly. Technically, this is correct. And it will still format correctly and be how we are telling the computer to put it on our website. But once we start making full web pages, having everything run on one line is going to get very confusing, and it's going to be hard to tell where you made your mistakes. So for this class, after every end tag, you're going to hit enter, and you're going to start it on a new line over here. That way it makes it easier for me to read, and it makes it easier for you or your friends to find mistakes when we do peer editing. Because take a look, let's say I had 50 paragraphs. I could literally go down 50 opening paragraphs. Okay, these are all closing paragraphs. Oh, let's say I put this one backwards. Okay, in code.org, it does turn red. When we are working in Notepad, they will not turn red to show you mistakes. And not every mistake in code.org is going to turn red. But if I had 50 P's and 1 Q, that would be easy to see if I have everything on its own line. All right, hit finish, and we're going to go to number 5. This is going to be the last one I'm going to do with you before I set you guys off on your own. We're going to fix the broken code so that the web pages display correctly with each sentence. All right, this sentence should be on its own line. So should this one. What's wrong with this sentence? Pause the video and try and do it on your own. All right, so we have an opening paragraph tag. What did they forget? They had no closing paragraph tag. All right, so now we got a closing paragraph tag. Notice how this turned pink. Once again, in code.org, sometimes it will show you the mistakes, sometimes it won't. When we work in Notepad, it will not show you the mistakes. We need an opening paragraph tag. All right, now we have an opening paragraph tag. What did they do wrong here? They have a backslash, and it's not even in the right spot if it was a closing tag, but this is an opening tag, so we're going to get rid of the backslash. And we need to put our end, we need to fix this so that it is an end paragraph tag here. Now you have this fixed. Hit finish, and you are going to finish 6, 7, 8, and 9 on your own. It looks like a lot, but it is not as much as it looks like. Okay? So let's go over, let's click number 9 and go into debugging. I'm not going to go all the way through this with you, but I'm going to show you that this problem is not as bad as it seems. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at this code. Now, still look, even though it put the docutype heading, close paragraph, still look at it. It spelled body wrong. So you're going to have to add that Y. All right? Take a look at your tags. Make sure all the letters are correct. Any spelling errors, any extra characters, they will mess it up. There are 3 errors. It tells you there are 3 errors. So you have to find the 3 errors and fix them. You're not having to type out a whole lot in this question. For number 8, I just want you to give me 2 or 3 sentences about how you think you did. Okay? What was easy? What was challenging? How do you think you did? Do you have any questions? Okay, so that's what you're going to do for number 8. Go ahead and do the rest on your own, and I look forward to seeing you guys for lesson 3.